when this act, URA, was actually drafted, the Minister of Economy was who? Can anyone remember? Rafizi Ramli. And Rafizi Ramli is from where? And Nakoming is from where? Okay, thank you. So there lies the political contestation. I think this session is going to be very important. It says who gains and who pays, yeah, in a very subtle kind of manner. Who actually gains politically? Who actually pays politically, maybe? Now we want to hear from the ground the realities, the reality of this new act that's going to be introduced. And at the end of the day, do we really as a rakyat, do we actually have a voice?
Unlike other countries, our local government is quite weak in terms of revenue powers. Urban renewal, I think, is more at a lower level. Urban poverty, or I think there should be more federal assistance.
So what Tan Sri you're saying is that the URA does not resolve the fundamental problems of funding to renew, to rehabilitate or to rejuvenate the urban areas. And this is probably we are barking up the wrong tree, right? Yeah. In fact, the real issue is actually state funding.
Social determinants of health, meaning, basically the environment that ensures that people are able to gain access to healthcare. So this definitely is one of the issues. How the experience of what the intended exercise is going to be to the aged population. It's very important for us to consider this because the aged population generally is voiceless in many of the conversations that we're talking about, especially concerning development. A lot of the issues are not taking into consideration the peculiarities, the concerns, but also the needs of those who are above the age of 60, infirm, needing medical assistance, some social support, and so forth. By 2040, 6.4 million older Malaysians will be above the age of 60. One of the worrying things that we have to worry about is that 77% of Malaysians are going to be living in cities, meaning aging is an urban issue. So how does it affect the experience or the issue that we're talking about here is that many of our cities, there's a lot of development projects, as you know, clothed in urban renewal projects, etc. There's a lot of concern here that without protection, the older population are going to be the victims and very silent victims of a lot of these projects that are happening. And it's going to be very hard for them to access some of these services that are essential for them to be able to continue to live with quality of life, including healthcare. And we talk a lot about aging in place, which is not leaving your home that you've invested in and purchased 30 years ago, and you want to be able to basically age there. Now being told that because of urban renewal, you're going to have to leave. Actual people who are facing displacement, eviction, loss of their home, and also loss of access to healthcare. You can see some of the concerns, you can hear some of the concerns. People with disabilities, stroke, needing access to healthcare, which they know is easiest, they've already utilized, and suddenly they're being told that perhaps they have to move elsewhere, they have to find another place to live, and all those services are disrupted. Recently, there was a new bylaw that was passed by the DBKL, the Federal Territory of KL Planning Rules 2025, which basically weakens public consultation and stakeholder engagement, which basically means that in this particular case, the public do not have to be consulted in any development that is undertaken by DBKL. Without public engagement, you will not have access to EIA, the social impact assessment, the traffic impact assessment, etc. And all of it has been recently gazetted just last month, meaning this is law today. They don't need to consult you if they want to develop. Now, this is just for KL, but we are talking a lot about state issues, right? KL is not a state. It falls directly under the federal government, and this is what they're already doing today.
Even without the URA?
Even without the URA. Imagine for aged population who are already retired, you're told you don't have any insurance, you're depending on public healthcare services to access, and now because of the URA, you are being displaced, you're being evicted, you are told to move elsewhere, which even if they provide you with a replacement home, it could be out there in Rawang, could be further away from where you are used to accessing healthcare today. Think about the people with stroke, disabilities, older people who above the age of 60 are going to face. Many of the policymakers up there are above the age of 60. Yeah, I mean, he's getting
He's
approaching
getting there,
them.
he's getting there.
But the point here is that they're not worried.
Because he doesn't pay.
Well, he's more well-heeled. They're not worried about themselves or their families. But in places like Japan, where they shape policy and decisions to benefit older people, in this country, those who up there may be older, but they're not making policies that benefit the older population.
Located in Cheras, right? So in one residential taman itself, you can have up to 5 to 6 redevelopment attempts. Meaning to say you have condominiums, you have apartments, all of them have already been identified, developers are eyeing them, and they've already been approached. And each and every one of them have a different process. Inconsistent procedures, people get knocked on the door, people get calls at night. And if we look into what's happening around the surrounding neighborhood, you have construction of new buildings already, new condominiums are already coming in, yet we are also seeing new redevelopment attempts. So if we add all in, the incoming supply, plus if you're going to redevelop the place, you're going to have more houses coming in, but yet houses remain unsold. Very difficult to rent out. So are we really solving a housing issue, or is this a commercial agenda for commercial profits? So if we take a look at consent threshold, right? We talk about 75%, now it's been raised to 80%. You can already tell that it can be game, right? The developers can just selectively negotiate, right? For those who are not even staying there and have yet multiple rental units, right? They got that first bargaining right. Because you approach them, you can get them to say yes, why not, right? Then who are at the bottom of the priority? Those who are renters, they don't have a voice. Their votes don't count, right? And finally, you have the single unit residents. So those who do not have any other homes, some of them may want to take the deal because it's a potential opportunity to upgrade, but there are also a lot of others who do not want to consent. And there are various reasons for it, right, including whether the developer is able to deliver at the end of the day. But if you look at it, seriously, if you take a look at consent threshold itself, you already know that how easily it can be gamed, and therefore one of the reasons why it has to be adapted to the local conditions.
Sebagai seorang President of Pertubuhan Penilaian Impak Sosial, Malaysian Association of Social Impact Assessment, menyediakan social impact assessment dan berjumpa dengan masyarakat sebelum kita melaksanakan apa-apa projek adalah perkara yang saya selalu buat. I've listened to many people. I've seen them cry. I've seen them merayu, untuk memahami perspektif mereka. Kebanyakan yang menyatakan tidak bersetuju dengan pembangunan adalah kumpulan berusia emas. Kerana mereka telah bekerja bertahun-tahun membeli hartanah dan kemudiannya dapat membeli tanah, membeli bangunan di dalam padang. Tetapi sampai satu masa apabila mereka sudah tidak berdaya, tiba-tiba ada satu pihak hendak menghalau mereka keluar daripada rumah mereka dan mula membayar semula loan yang baru. Ini adalah satu perkara baru, satu perkara biasa yang kita jumpa dalam social impact assessment. Sebab itu golongan tua, orang kurang upaya, kanak-kanak, ibu tunggal yang mempunyai anak adalah antara kumpulan rentan yang kita panggil yang mesti kita santuni di dalam penyediaan social impact assessment. Kerana kumpulan ini adalah kumpulan yang akan collapse sekiranya pembangunan datang tanpa mengambil kepentingan mereka. Saya adalah seorang perunding World Bank. So saya boleh ceritakan macam mana prinsipal yang dipakai di peringkat antarabangsa, yang mana sebenarnya negara kita ni jauh sangat daripada yang digunakan di peringkat antarabangsa. Kita tertinggal jauh, terutamanya dari segi human rights.